It's what I know and what I've known, my whole life. It's a passion and it's a part of me, and it always will be.
Fans may remember Kevin Sawyer as the hard-hitting enforcer for the Spokane Chiefs.
And when I came to Spokane as an 18-year-old, it was more out of desperation. I think my skills probably weren't to a level that they needed to be for me to be a goal scorer. I know. And so it was just a matter of doing what you had to do to stay at that time.
The team captain slugged his way to the NHL and later became one of the league's top hitmen.
Most people will stereotype you and they have expectations of what you might be off the ice. And you look like you're a crazy, angry person, and it's the exact opposite. It's not who I am, and it actually surprised me when that role I fell into that role. It turned out that it was something that was within me, but it's not who I am. But at the same time, I don't have any regrets, and it's something I was more than willing to do to stay in the game, and it turned out to be a living for me.
Sawyer threw in the towel on his playing career after a series of concussions and then made his way into the broadcast booth.
Better and better, and that is a great sign if you're a Spokane Chiefs fan.
The best thing about this kind of combination and balance is they complement each other so much. So with the broadcasting, anytime you can get an inside look at a coach's perspective, like Don Knockbart, who's one of the most winningest coaches in the league, it gives you forces you to look at the game differently.
As Sawyer enters the later rounds of his hockey career, the 38-year-old is back on the sidelines. Only this time as an assistant coach, bringing that same passion to the ice as he did as a player.
He's a guy who brought a wealth of experience. He's a really personable guy. He has a really good way of explaining things. He's really intense, really emotional.
I can be hard and firm. My expectations are high, but at the same time, I think my strength is the fact that I can relate to them, and I know how hard it is to be a player. I have so much respect for what they're accomplishing at a young age. I think that comes through, when I communicate and ask of things from our players, that they know that I'm asking from an experience that I've experienced myself.
Jeremy McIntosh in the corner. We've got.
He's played several roles: the intimidator, the antagonizer, the bully, all vital to the game of hockey.
Sawyer is 12th in the history of the Western Hockey League in penalty minutes.
Unsung, but understood as necessary.
It's one that you have to bring every night and deliver every night. A lot of restless days going into games, but I think the guys that do that role are the ultimate team players. They don't fight for themselves, they fight for the teammates and for the causes, for winning. And
you have to be more than just tough. You have to, number one, you have to be able to skate. Especially in today's game, you have to be able to be a good skater and be responsible defensively. You have to be one of the best conditioned guys, just because you have to make up for some other things that maybe you don't bring to the ice.
There is much more to Kevin Sawyer than a life surrounded by the ice.
I'm leaving a life that I love, with my kids and piano lessons and everything else, and I'm very, very happy in that and content. And yet I come here and I just have this renewed sense of energy, and it's inspiring. It's something that can't be replaced. It's different.
An enforcer that has moved past his time in the penalty box, not pulling any punches when it comes to family life.
All through my life, I've always had a plan. Whether it's going to be how am I going to get in shape, how am I going to make this team, how am I going to take the next step. I've always had long-term goals, but some circumstances in my private life, I'm a single dad of 2 young kids, which is fantastic, and it's forced me to not plan as much because I really don't know what the future holds. What I do know is I'll always be there for my kids. And they're my number one priority. Do I want to coach again? Yeah, I do. Do I want to broadcast and make that a career? I do. So those are pretty good options to have, and then somehow I just have this feeling that something will work out so long as I kind of stay involved, and my priorities are what they are, and they're not changing.